of getting set up here, so give me just a minute and we'll get into our Planvember day 12. I have to get the links shared out to a couple of places, and then my cord's kind of wrapped around me here, and then we can get started. So we had a fun day yesterday and it was a good crowd, so I'm hoping that we see more of that today. We had a lot of fun yesterday and everything turned out really nicely too, which is exciting, you know, when everybody kind of throws their ideas in the hat and you end up with a really cool, and it's something that the page ended up completely different from what I would have come up with all by myself, sitting alone in my office. So hi Kayla, hi Alice, good to have you guys back. Okay, let me find my link that I want to share out. Let me focus. I try to switch up where I share these to because I don't want to like bombard anybody, but I also want people to be able to find it if they want to. So if you have a journaling friend or a favorite journaling group that you think would enjoy these videos, that you want them in here with us and you think they belong in here with us, then go ahead and tag them. Grab your friend, grab your coffee, and if you want, you can also share the video now so that you can find it later. So the Oprah of journaling. Well, thank you, Amy. I don't know about that though, but it would be kind of fun if I really could become the Oprah of journaling, and then I could be like, you get a journal, you get a journal, everybody gets a journal. Wouldn't that be cool? I don't know. It sounds fun to me. Okay. So if you guys, as I'm waiting for everybody to kind of pop into our group here, it takes everybody a minute to get on. So let me kind of go through what we're doing this month. I am setting up my 2018 journal, and I figured I would take you guys along for the ride. And it's doing a couple things. One, it's making me commit to getting this done early, because last year I was setting my goals while I was wrapping kids' Christmas presents, and I definitely had a couple of glasses of eggnog in me, and my goals I just sort of did them really fast. And I did the rest of my setup carefully, but my goals I did too fast. But this year I really wanted to do this early before the holidays hit so that I could be prepared. So yeah, it's doing that for me. It's forcing me to get it done early, but it's also helping me kind of connect with you guys and learn about you in a different way, and that's been really enjoyable for me. I like doing this, and I'm learning a lot from you guys. Just like I was saying yesterday when we were doing the page, you guys came up with ideas and everything changed, and it's been a lot of fun. This is a lot more of an intimate setting than if I'm just blogging, you know, on the website and I put it out on the website. It's just not as familiar. So this is a lot more fun for me. And so it's new and it's challenging, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's been really exciting. So so each day we do a new page and we go through those together, and that way you guys can also see it in real time. So when you go to YouTube, and I've explained this a couple times, but I'm trying to re-explain it just for the people who might be new to the series. When you go to YouTube and you watch someone do a journal page, there's a little bit of YouTube magic that comes into play. So, hi Soko from Germany, nice to have you. So there's a little bit of YouTube magic that comes into play when you see YouTube videos. People have walked away from it, they come back to it, and they edit it so that it looks like they did it all in one sitting. There's nothing wrong with that. If I were creating edited videos on YouTube, I would be doing the same thing. I think it's very useful, and that's part of the platform. And it helps you if you're in a hurry and you want to see how something's done. But at the same time, then you go sit down and you do, oh, I made somebody angry. But then you go sit down and you try to recreate the page, and it takes you forever. And then you think that you're doing something wrong. And you're not doing anything wrong. It's just that that video was created in order to show you how something was done. So I'm trying to do these live so that you can actually see the process that I really am going through, and how I'm thinking, and how I'm having to move things around, and that it's probably very similar to what you're doing. So you're not doing anything wrong if it's taking you a while. And I do put a lot of time into my notebook ahead of time, because that helps me be an early thinker and an early planner. And so yes, I devote a lot of time to it. It does take me some time, but I feel like I get that time back tenfold. So it's worth it for me. So Hi, Sarah. Oh, I'm glad you like the live. I'm glad. I think it is helping people, and I like that you guys can ask questions. So in the replays that I post on the website, if you ever need to reference something, you can watch the replay. And I also post the videos on my YouTube channel, which for right now the YouTube channel is brand new, so it's just these lives for right now. But you can also go to the website and watch the replays, and then you can fast forward through those parts that maybe you don't need to see as much. So let me go ahead and do the flip through for the people who are new, and we will get started. So if you're just joining us, I've been telling everybody to grab a friend or or go ahead and tag your favorite journaling group or share the link in your favorite journaling group, only because I don't like oversharing in those groups because I want to be courteous of them, but at the same time I want to make sure people can find us if they're interested in joining us. Yeah, we don't want to bug anybody, but if they want to come join us, then they should be able to come play with us. Hi, Rhonda from Seattle. Ooh, that's exciting because my candle that I'm burning today is called Seattle Rain. This is what I'm burning today in my office to stay happy and cozy and busy. So I love Seattle. I spent some time in Seattle. I was working up there when I was in the Air Force. We flew out of the Air Force base that's up there, which is escaping me now. But it's is it McCord? Is it McCord that's up there? Anyway, we flew a few missions out of there, and that was a really, really fun time. I liked going into Seattle and seeing the city. Really, really good. I know, Amy, there are a lot of Facebook groups for journaling, and they can be confusing. And my suggestion is to join as many of them as you can. Feel them out. Hi, Candace from New Hampshire. Just feel those groups out and see which ones are for you, because they all have a little bit of a different culture. I like pretty much all of them, to be honest, but they each bring something different, and so you sort of have to find your tribe, I guess, for lack of a better term. But yeah, there are a lot of different ones. There are some that cater to people who want a really clean minimalist notebook, and there are some that cater to people who want something maybe a little more artistic. So it really just depends on your goals. So this was our page from yesterday. Let me do the flip through for the people who are old, people who are new, people who are old have seen this before. So this is my first journal from 2017, and it was the journal that I put my goals in. And so I pulled this one out today because I'm going to be working on goals again today, and I want to be able to compare kind of how I did things last year and how I'm going to do them this year. So this notebook is a Leuchtturm, if you are curious. I've been told that's how we pronounce it, Leuchtturm. I'm pretty sure we have someone from Germany in here, if I remember correctly, so let me know if I'm saying that right, or at least close to right. And I really like this brand a lot. I think it's the favorite in the journaling community, and it's also the brand that makes the official bullet journal. If you're following the bullet journal system and style for the most part, then that's definitely a brand that you'll want to check out. I'm switching to Scribbles That Matter because I haven't tried it before, and I kind of want to see how it holds up so that I can give a better review. Amy, I do combine personal and work, and that's because I don't know how else to do it any other way. If I have a work notebook and a personal notebook, things get lost because my personal life and my work life are so inseparable that I don't really know how to live in compartments that way. So I combine them for now, but I do have other notebooks that I use that are separate. And things like I have a writing notebook that I use for creative writing. Just a little background about me. By trade, I say by trade. By education, I'm a writer. So I have my undergrad's in journalism and my master's is in creative writing. And so I write on the side, and I keep a notebook where I go over different story structure, different character elements and archetypes, and I just keep, notes like this. So this is my writing notebook. So that I might keep separate. But as far as tasks, when it comes to, now the website is my day job. So Page Flutter is my day job. And, oh my gosh. Sorry, are you guys dizzy? No, Amy, I don't do any ghostwriting. But, So the website is my day job. So I combine that and my personal life just because for me, they're inseparable. Okay, so let's get started through the flip through for the guys who are just joining us. So this notebook has a key and an index. I need to start filling in that index because I have enough pages to do it now. And it's pre-printed over 3 pages of the notebook. I have my word for the year, which is gratitude. I've got my 2018 year at a glance. Both of these are printables in the vault now. So you guys can grab those. So, oh, thanks, Chrissy. I'm glad you like the Hero's Journey page. That is from, I got that model from The Writer's Journey, which is a book by Vogler. And anyway, I highly recommend that book to anybody who writes fiction. Yeah, Vogler's Chris Vogler, I think his first name's Chris. He was a story consultant for people like Disney, like helped him make The Lion King correct, make it better. He made it better. Anyway, so, okay, so this is our birthday and holiday wheel. Birthdays on the inside and important dates and holidays on the outside. And I'm still working on getting that printable for you guys. This one just isn't cooperating with me. When I scan it in, the colors are coming out really mottled and funny and not the way I want. And then I've got my long-term planning here, January through April, May through August, and September through December. And I don't know if you guys wanted a printable of this one. It's a very easy page to make, and I think people like decorating these on their own. But feel free to drop me a comment and weigh in on that, because I haven't made a printable of this one yet because I wasn't sure that you guys really wanted it. But if you do, then I'll make it for you. Otherwise, you guys can make them on your own. They're, like I said, they're very easy to make. That's part of why I like this method of long-term planning. So, okay, hold on. Rhonda's got a question. Oh, so Rhonda's been watching. Let's see. Rhonda says, I've been present daily, but typically miss the daily live. I use Scribbles That Matter for combined personal and fitness. I like that. I use a little bit of fitness in mine, but I also use fitness cards. Like, this is what I've been doing lately for fitness, is I take my workout and I put it on a card. And then then I've built up this deck of workouts. And then if I'm in a hurry, I can just grab my one workout and run to the gym. But that's a good idea too, though, to keep fitness in your journal. So, okay. So then as we run out of long-term planning pages, at the end of the year, I start running out of places to put things. And I have to plan a really long time in advance, just based on the way that our family has to plan things. We move a lot. We travel a lot. We juggle, you know, having to... Both of our families live out of state from wherever we are because we move so often. And so I have to do a lot of long-term planning. So then I have my 2019 overflow planning page if I need to put things in there. I've got a monthly recurring task tracker, which was inspired by Tiny Ray of Sunshine. And this has been very useful. I added this last year and kept it going because I enjoyed using it so much. And I'm really bad with habit trackers, but for some reason this one I really, really use very well. Then I've got my planning routine and a journal checklist. So anytime I'm going to be moving things around in my journal from one page to another, I follow this checklist. And for the most part, the biggest moves for me personally are the monthly pages, just because that's when I end up doing most of my reviewing of my goals, setting big projects and things like that. So that's really where the focus is for my checklist, but yours may be different. But this just helps keep me on track so that I'm not losing things and I'm not forgetting to check a page that I mean to check, a page that I've created with the intention of checking it, and then I just forget that it exists. So that helps me. Then these 2 pages, I just wanted to create kind of a nice curtain for 2018 as I move from just my regular long-term planning pages into specifically thinking about now it's time to get on board with 2018. So I created this a little quote page here. It says, there are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind, from C.S. Lewis. And then we created kind of this doodle floral border, and I made a coloring page of this one for you guys. This is in the vault as well, so you can grab that one. And I'm trying to think if I got anything else hung up in the vault for you guys yet. I'm still working on them. Every day I work on them just a little bit to get those printables done for you. And then yesterday we just created this fun little dashboard for 2018. And 2018 is the year of the dog. So we did these fun paw prints leading into the 2018 and then leading out like it stepped in paint. So we did, I used Tombow dual brush pens, and we did a little watercolor technique. So if you missed that, you can go back and watch it. And everybody sort of chimed in with their ideas, and that made this page a lot of fun. And I wouldn't have come up with this on my own, I don't think, just sitting here doodling around with it. I think it would have turned out completely different. So it was fun to have you guys influence that and throw your ideas in. Now today, we're supposed to work on 2018 goals, and I left this page alone because I wanted you guys to see. This was one of the things we were testing, was to see how this notebook performed with watercolor. And for the most part, I think it did pretty well, to be honest. So it wrinkled a little bit, which we expected because it's not watercolor paper. And then I had a little bit of bleed through down on this corner. You can see just barely. So I think I probably wouldn't have any problem using this as is normally. But because I'm making a goals page, that tends to be a really structured page for me, and it's a page that I like to have a lot of focus on. So I think what I'm gonna do is glue these two pages together, and then we'll move on, and I'll just have to move my sticky notes over one. But that's okay. I think that's probably what we're gonna do. So I'm going to grab a couple things here out of my mess of a drawer. All right, so this is just adhesive tape. This one's Tombow Mono permanent adhesive tape. And this is really, I like these just because they don't make a huge mess and they're easy to use. And yeah, you can glue a couple pages. And you can glue things into your journal with this too, which makes it really handy. Okay. And that's probably good. Oops. Okay. There. Okay, we're all fixed up. So that just means that I'll have to move all of my stickies over, but that's okay. I can do that. I only have a few left before we get to the January monthly pages, so that wasn't a big deal. And that is part of why I like to get my initial setup done up through January before I start indexing anything, and that's why I do this sticky note planning. It helps me a lot. Okay, so that's where we ended up there. Oh, I've got a question. Hold on. Do I track or use threading between journals? I've seen that you can, and I know that Kim, A Tiny Ray of Sunshine, she talks about threading a lot, and I kind of think of her as the threading master. She has these amazing systems for threading things. I don't thread them in that way. I definitely could, but I actually have an archive that I keep for some of my old journal pages that I find really useful, at least the ones that are not active anymore. If it's an active collection, then I might make a note that there's an earlier page in another journal and thread it in that sense. But, or I'll just copy the entire collection over, photocopy it and paste it in the notebook and continue it and keep it active. So that I might do it that way, but it just depends. I guess it depends what it is. Okay, so let's work on goals. So last year, my goal page looked something like this. So I used the Tony Robbins model from TonyRobbins.com. I sort of looked at his goal setting, and then I kind of tried to work that for how I like to do goal planning. And I set 3 personal and 3 professional goals. I feel like more than 3 is too much to track, to be honest. So, and probably I should have done fewer, in all honesty. But I'm comfortable with 3 personal and 3 professional, and I think this time I'm probably gonna only do 2, but 3 is the most I would ever do. And then I also created this page, which is things that I wanted to improve. And these aren't necessarily measurable, so it would be hard to set a goal for them, but I just wanted to see kind of if I could be more mindful of these things. So, be present, be consistent, listen carefully, speak softly, and welcome change. And sometimes, let me go through some of these. I tend to be a worrier, so being present, I'm always thinking about either things that have already happened or things happening in the future, and I really want to be able to kind of push some of that aside and just be present. Being consistent, I get very, very excited about new projects, and then sometimes just can't like keep it together long term. At least at least I think that about myself. But I've been wanting to really keep things consistent and then not get down on a system that I already have in place. Then listening carefully, I think that I'm going to make a broad generalization about my own people here. I think most Americans have a really hard time listening carefully. We tend to be thinking about our next meal, our next meeting, or something else that is going on in our lives, rather than listening and really giving our time to the person in front of us. So that's something that I really want to do better. And I think this year I put in a huge effort on that. And I think that if I were to rate myself now, I would rate myself as pretty good on that one. I'd probably be somewhere in this range. I think I've been working really hard at that. Speaking softly, if I get really stressed or excited, I tend to raise my voice without even realizing that it's happening. Not so much yelling, but just getting really excited. So I'm trying to work on that. And welcoming change. I don't deal with change well. I really don't. I am a creature of habit, and I turn into a cranky kitty when things change unexpectedly. So I'm really trying to welcome a lot more change. And I think the fact that we're moving to Japan this summer is really going to force me to welcome that change. And I'm really excited about it. And I'm really trying to roll with things a little bit more, even when they don't go according to plan. So that was kind of what I worked on last year. And I will probably follow this same model, but just working on some different things. And then I had my goals over here. So this year, today, we're going to recreate this page with a little bit of a different, oh yeah, the page markers. Amy says she likes my page markers. I'm going to show you guys how to do that in one of these videos. It's very simple, and a lot of people use this method. It has a name. I don't know what it is. It's like Japanese indexing or something like that. I can't totally remember the name. I'm sorry, guys. But and I have a little card here on the side. This is my J.B. Welly paper that my notebooks came wrapped in from J.B. Welly. But anyway, so then I have my little color code here, and then I can see what the page goes to. So it goes like, this is for the blog, and I've got like this little pink marker on these edges. Can you see that? Okay, so that's how that works. All right, so let's get back to goals. Uh-oh, I lost my goal page. There it is. All right, so I like the way that this was set up, but the one thing that I think I would do differently, since I have a brand new white page, a fresh start to make this page, is edge indexing, Claire. Yes, we can call it edge indexing. I like that. Yeah, for me, it's been really useful, especially because I prefer bound notebooks. So I can't move my pages around and put them in a logical order. At least this way I can group logical pages with the index. So anyway, back to goal setting. That's my focus today, goal setting, not indexing. But so I think if I were to do this differently this year, now that I have a brand new start, I would do personal on one page and professional on another page. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So I'll go ahead and do my personal goals, and then things to work on personally, and then my professional goals, and then some looser, less definable professional goals. So I'm going to set that guy up there for myself. Hang on, let me grab a clip really fast because I want to keep this page open. And I actually liked the structure of what I did last year, so I want to use it again. Okay. I'm going to just set my notebook up there so I can kind of keep an eye on it. And I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a space for a header. I haven't totally decided what that header is going to look like yet, but that's okay. That's kind of how I do things. I like to start with the content, and then I go back and add the pretties a little bit later, unless it's a pretty page, and then I just dive right in. But if it's meant to just be a fun, pretty page. I have so many pens, guys. Okay. I'm going to start with a 3, I think. This is a Tombow Mono Drawing Pen, number 3 on it. That's that guy. What are the colored squares for? And is it a monthly? The colored squares. Are you talking about the colored squares on this guy? CJ? I'm trying to understand the question. I'm sorry. No, Dawn, I have not used the removable Tombow tape, but that would be a good one to try. I think that there could really be some applicability there. I have not used that yet. Okay, so CJ was asking about these. These are just a rating scale, basically 1 to 5 on these goals that I had for myself. So these were not as definable as the goals that I have on this page that are measurable. But the goals on this page are sort of loosey-goosey. Hey, Bailey, thanks for coming. And I just gave so because they were not definable, I assigned them a 1 to 5 scale from try again to fantastic. And I just sort of graded myself along that rating scale as to how I'm doing. And then on New Year's Eve, I'm going to sit down with this page and I'm going to give myself an end of the year grade in a different color. So I'll have my starting point and my end point. I'm hoping my end point is going to be up here on most of these. Do you see how optimistic I am? I'm pointing to the right. Like, I've done so great on all of these. So anyway, I have tried to keep these in mind throughout the year though, and I hope I've improved on most of them. But I'm going to give it some real thought when I sit down on New Year's Eve and I'll consider these. So I hope that explains that a little bit better. I didn't explain that well before. But yeah, so those are like little smiley face rating scales. Okay, so I really liked that though. I had a lot of fun with it, and I feel like it kept me honest without necessarily being negative. Like, instead of saying, you know, this is bad, you're not doing well at this, I tried to frame it as I can improve this or I can try again, because I always can try again. Even if I don't meet the goal, I can always try again. And that's the key, right? Okay, so let me get started here on some of these. All right, I'm going to leave a little space for a header, and then I will go ahead at the top of my goal chart here. And I think I'm going to leave myself a little more space. So last year, I gave myself 4 squares, and I think I'm going to give myself 5 this year because that was a little bit tight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always count squares. I don't count dots because I just screw it up every single time if I try to count dots. Then I can't remember, does it go before the dot, after the dot? I don't know, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always count squares. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you guys hear my little guy singing? He's singing back there. He likes to sing songs. Okay, and then I'm going to want to break this up into my goal, my action plan, and the purpose of that goal. So it doesn't do any good to, thanks Elizabeth, thanks Jen. Yeah, he's singing to the cat, Dawn. He loves the cat and the dog. He sings to the dog too. So I'm going to break this up into my goal, my action plan, and my purpose. So obviously every goal that you have has to have a purpose. Nobody wants to get in shape just to get in shape, right? You want to get in shape because you want to feel good, you want to live longer, you want to be able to have enough energy to do the things that you want to do in life. So you have to have a purpose behind your goals. Otherwise, the goal is probably not motivating enough and you won't really have the drive to achieve it. So that's what I'm going to divide this up for, because I want to make sure that every single one of my goals has a clear purpose and that I can devise an action plan to achieve that goal. And I'm going to leave a little bit more space for my action plan, and I'm not going to leave quite as much space here for my purpose, because usually I have the purpose kind of in mind, so I don't really need to write that out quite as much. So let me write here. This is going to be my goal. So that's the result. That's the result I want. And then I've got my action plan. And then I've got the purpose. So, Usually when I'm creating these, I'll create the goal first and the purpose. I kind of create those at the same time. They sort of go together. So, and then this will be my personal side, and then this will be my professional side. So I'm just going to repeat this same chart over on this page. I'm going to leave them blank for now because I want to be able to make a printable version of this for you guys. So all of these are going to be blank, and it's just going to say personal and professional. And you know what? I said I was only going to do 2 goals, and I ended up doing 3. That's okay. We'll just have 3. I don't have to fill all 3 in if I don't want to. So that way there will be at least 3 that you guys can work from too when we make this a printable. That was a happy mistake. So, all right, so we'll go ahead and make another chart on the professional side, and I'm just going to line up with, I'm just going to line it up the exact same. I'll just follow the same pattern that I did before. So we went, my son, he loves singing, and he likes Christmas carols for some reason. And yesterday we went to Target. Was it yesterday? It might have been a couple days ago. I can't remember. My days are running together now. But we went to Target, and of course they have all the Christmas stuff out, right? Because it's not quite Thanksgiving, so we better put the Christmas stuff out. So, and you know, we go by, and of course they have all the little toys and, you know, Santas that sing Christmas carols. And so he started singing them, and we left, and he starts crying and saying, "But I want to play Christmas. I want to play Christmas." So then when we got home, he starts asking all of us, you know, "Do you like to play Christmas, Mommy?" He said, "Yeah, I like to play Christmas." Well, I like to play Christmas too. So that was pretty cute. We had fun with him. All right, let's see. I left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Just to be consistent, we'll count. Doesn't really matter that much, but it's nice when things look the same. Okay. Let's see and make sure my comments are going. They are. They're good. So, okay. Goal. That's the result. You know what? I didn't drop links for you guys today. Hang on. Let me do the comments. I just remembered. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I'll drop them in the comments here for you because I always mean to do that because I always get a ton of questions. And then I was also going to tell you, yeah, somebody asked me about the fine liners, and those are the ones we're going to be using today. So I want to make sure I actually drop those for you real fast. Okay, and these are the ones that I have. I try to drop the exact link that if I ordered from it, so that you guys know that you're ordering the exact same thing if that's what you're wanting. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. I know that's annoying for me to stop in the middle of this, but it'll save us it'll save us some questions later on. Okay, there are those that I'm going to be using. All right, so that should cover everything that I'm using today. All right. Let's keep going. Action plan and then the purpose. All right, and then I'd like to create a little area for just looser things to improve. So let's do a banner. Let's do a nice banner. I'm just gonna draw it. I'm just gonna freehand it because I kind of like the wiggles that happen in banners naturally. And then we'll do some things to improve there. In fact, let's do a scroll. Let's do a scroll instead. Scrolls are kind of fun. We'll do, let me think about this. I always have to do this first when I think about scrolls because the swirls kind of, they throw me off. Yeah, that's right. Okay. We'll do Okay, there's a fun scroll for us. And another one right over here. Okay. Always got to connect all the lines on our little scroll swirlies. Connect that one down. There. So now we can do personal. Okay, and then we'll do professional. All right, now I'm going to create a little bit of color on these, on the scrolls, just because they're a little bit bare right now. So I'm going to take kind of a light brown and make them look like aged scrolls, a little bit. I'm just kind of doing hash marks along the edges, just to give them a little bit more interest. Curve them a little bit on these scrolls. And I'm actually going to color anything that looks like it should be the wrong side of the scroll. I'll color that dark. Okay, that looks like it should be the wrong side of the scroll. The back side. I'll color that in. And then everything else, I'll just kind of hash mark it. Okay, that's nice. Just a little bit of something for it. Oh, Amy, you have the book, don't you? You've got my book? Hi, Carla. Because I break down how to do this scroll in the book, and I do it in a much more tidy way than what I just did. I kind of just did it really fast. Okay, CJ, so you got into the vault. You know what? I haven't hung the lettering practice sheets in there yet. I was supposed to. You didn't make that up in your mind. I was supposed to do that. So I need to do that for you guys. And I meant to go back in and grab that and get it posted for you guys. I just didn't get to it. I'm sorry. But if you go to the website and you know what? Here, I'll grab the link for you, and I'll put it here real fast for you. For those handwriting practice sheets. And I have a search bar on the website, so if you ever can't find something and you think that, wait a minute, this should be on the website, she said it was, you can search in that search bar that's right at the very top of the website. But if you're on mobile, it's a little harder, so I know that for a fact. Okay, here we go. There you go. CJ, I just posted the link to the post that has the handwriting practice pages. And I actually have another post on handwriting if that's what you were interested in. And I need to grab that. And this is my latest one, and I'll post this one for you too. And then we'll get back to it. All right, there you go. Okay, so I just posted those. I need my husband to come be my assistant for these. You know, he acts like his day job is important or something. You know, like he pays our bills or something like that. Okay. It's funny though, we actually talk about that. My husband and I, we talk about like maybe when it's time for him to retire, he can come work for me. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay. Now that we've established that this whole blogging thing is here to stay and it's legit, like this is a legit job, babe. It's for real. So, okay. Now we're gonna work on just creating those little bars for things that we want to work on, additional little personal things. And I think we could probably do, let me count here and we'll see how many we could fit in here. Let me grab a pencil if I have one that I've sharpened. All right, I think we could do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think we could do 3 here. So, and I made them a little bit wider last time than I needed to, so I think we could save ourselves some space. Excuse me for reaching across the camera there. I think if I do them a little bit shorter, and we'll do, so this last time I did them 4 wide, but I think 3 wide is probably more appropriate. So we'll do 3 wide, and then I can label them on the side rather than up top, and that would save us some space here. So always thinking, right guys? All right, so I'm gonna start in the center here, and I'll work outward, and that way I know that my stuff's actually gonna be centered. Okay. Oh, thanks, Yvonne. Good to have you in here. I know, right? It gets you thinking. Having that candle there, it makes you think it's hygge time. It sure is. Okay. All right, I think I'm caught up on the questions, so I can get started again. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna do my first one here, and I'm just using pencil real fast to make sure I count these properly. That'll be my number 4. That'll be my number 5, number 2, number 1. All right, so then I've left myself a little bit of room. Actually, I'm gonna move this one over. I'm not gonna do them centered. I'm gonna do them off center, because then I can label them over here. I can put the label of whatever we're measuring. And I'm gonna let you guys put your own label. So I'll do the scale of 1 to 5 of things to improve, and then you guys can fill in whatever you want to fill in there. Okay, so when I do the printable version of this, you can personalize it. Because I'm sure we all have different things we need to work on, right? We're different creatures. So moving right along here. And now that I've done one in pencil and I'm comfortable with the spacing, I'll probably just do them all. From here on out, I'll just do it in pen. Okay. Oops, I made that one too wide. I sure did. All right, it's correction tape time. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I made it too wide, guys. And you know what? When I do the printable, I'll Photoshop that out so you guys don't have to deal with that line there. That you guys will have a nice little perfect printable. Sorry about that. I just wasn't paying attention. I let my mind wander. Okay, and this will be my last one. I always think you guys see me making those mistakes and you're over there going, no, don't do it. And you can't stop me. Okay. And that never happens to me when I'm just journaling by myself. It only happens when I'm journaling on camera, of course, right? Okay. There's that. And that guy. And that guy. Okay. So now we just need our little smiley faces. So let's get our circle tool. This is a great chance to use a circle tool. Because why wouldn't we if we can, right? Who doesn't want to use a circle tool? Okay. I don't know if I linked this guy, but if I didn't, I'll have to link it because I know that somebody's going to ask. I'm not sure I've ever gotten this circle maker out without somebody asking where I got it because it's so handy. I scoured Amazon. I went through 4 different compasses, I think. I kept ordering and then they just weren't, it just wasn't what I wanted. You know, it just wasn't working the way I wanted it to work. And then I finally came across this one. Like deep down in a search rabbit hole, I found it and it became my new best friend. Okay. These are going to be all my little faces to tell me how I'm doing. Okay, we'll give this guy a little sideways. This guy is neutral. And this little guy's pretty happy. Happy. And this one is like crazy happy. All right. I like these little emoji faces. They make me happy. Even the sad ones. Even if I don't do well, I'm like, well, at least this guy knows what I'm feeling. You know, they're like he's in it with me. Okay. We've got our little happy faces and we'll continue that on the next page, and then I'm going to color those and we'll do a fun header, and then I can turn this into a printable for you guys, and then I'll come back and fill in my goals at the very end. When I'm all done, I'll fill in my goals, but you guys, like I said, you guys will have different goals from what I have, so you'll want something different. All right, and I think I'm going to start it right about here. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and do this properly this time. 1, 2. Skip 2. 1, 2. Okay. This one's 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What are you guys doing over the weekend? Let's see, it's the last weekend before, if you're in the U.S., it's the last weekend before Thanksgiving. If you're not in the U.S., it's the weekend before a normal week. So, what are you guys going to do over the weekend? I would love to know. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm going to clean my wreck of a house. It has been a little bit of a mess lately. My husband and I have both had really busy times at work. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need one more. So we both have sort of just let the house go, and we both need to get our acts together and clean it up. I think we're probably going to do that over the weekend. All right. Amy asked, do I spend any time coloring in big kids coloring books? When my kids color, I will sit down and color with them a lot of times. So yes, I do. I still like coloring. I'm not ashamed of it. Proud of my coloring skills, guys. I can stay inside the lines like a champ, let me tell you. But I also have, you know, like really nice colored pencils and things like that. And my older son, every now and then will show a little bit of an interest in journaling, and we will break out my grown-up journaling supplies, and I let him play with me and let him kind of just go to town. And it's a really fun way for him to understand what it is that I do for work, because it's not real to kids if it's just in a computer, you know. But yeah, I don't mind sitting down with them and doing some coloring in their coloring books. I think it's a lot of fun. And it's just a way for us to spend time together, you know. But I feel like you can use all the excuses to connect with your kids that you can get. Oh, Rhonda is taking her journaling supplies for hotel downtime. That sounds like paradise. I think that's amazing. That's the dream right there. It's alone time with my journal. Oh. Actually, I shouldn't complain though, because my little one is really good. Like, he's really good, and you know, if I go into my office, he kind of knows, like, okay, mommy's gonna go in there and she's gonna do some planning, and I might do some work on the computer, and I might, you know, do some journaling and take some photos. He comes in to help me take photos, so that's good. But anyway, my kids are pretty good about, like, if I need alone time to journal or read, or they're pretty good about letting me have that. I think every mom goes through that. Every mom needs alone time just for her, you know? It's hard to understand that before you have kids too. You think, you know, that you love your kids, you're gonna want to be around them all the time. And you do, but, you know, you're still your own person, and you have to take a little bit of time just for the things that make you happy. All right. Oh, Rhonda says so you're an empty nester now. I keep wondering what that's going to be like. On the one hand, I think it's going to be amazing. But, you know, like, my kids are still little, so I'm like, oh, I can't wait. No, but then I know that when it actually happens, I'm going to miss them so much. All right, smiley guys. I think we've got you all made. I'm like Bob Ross. He was always talking to his things that he was painting too. Sitting here talking to my smiley faces. Okay, so I'm going to be using my Staedtler fine liners today just because these are really small spaces and I kind of want to get in there really close and color them. And I have more colors in my Staedtler fine liners than what I have in my Tombow pens, my Tombow Twin Tones, which I've used in previous videos. But I have more colors in these, and so I think I'm going to go with these today. I have a lot of choices, that's for sure. I'm making my smiley face guys yellow. You can make your smiley face guys whatever color you want. It doesn't matter. In retrospect, I probably should have, if you were making one of these on your own, I probably should have colored my circles and then gone back in with my black pen and created their faces. I probably would have gotten a cleaner look out of that, but that's okay. I'm just going to try to be really careful while I'm coloring that I don't get a lot of mixing of the black ink into my yellow. And then I'll go back in and create a little bit of a color code for the background to kind of grade these guys, just so that they move kind of from like what we did before. So I'll move from red to green, you know, from not so good to good. All right. Oh, Kayla, that's great. Congratulations. Kayla's having her first baby. That's very exciting. That first year is such a learning experience. I loved having my babies. They've been a lot of fun. And a lot of work. They're a lot of work. In case no one's told you, Kayla, I'm sure you know, they're a lot of work. And they're a lot of fun. That's what makes them worth it, I guess. Because they're a lot of work. They're worth it. I wish I had really been regular with my journaling when I first had my kids, because I'm not as good with photo albums, but I think, I am really good with a journal now. But at the time, I just hadn't really gotten into a good rhythm. I've been journaling off and on for years and years, but I didn't really get into a good rhythm until a couple years ago. But I wish I had discovered it earlier, because it's also one of those things like your kids will say something funny and you're like, oh, I got to write that down someplace I'm always going to have it. That was hilarious. And you need it all really in one place with everything else in your life. Okay, I like talking to you guys while I'm coloring. This is like our journaling coffee talk. Okay, so then we'll fill these guys in. I tell you what, why don't I do the coloring background on this one, and then we'll do the header, and then I'll come back and finish coloring these at the end after we're all wrapped up. So let's think about a cool header we can do. We can do block letters. Block letters are kind of fun, especially for goals. So, yeah, let's do that. So, I don't really have a method really here. I'm just going to kind of dive in. And I guess I'm just going to sketch out real fast. Make sure I got my letters in the right place. Personal goals. And then instead of professional, we'll just do pro goals. Pro goals. Okay. All right, so now I can go in with a pen now that I've got good spacing here. Oops, that's not the pen I wanted. That's a brush pen. I have too many pens. Too many pens. Is that even a thing? Too many pens? I want something a little thicker. Let's go with a 5. I like thicker lines on headers. It makes them stand out a little bit better. Okay. So I just did really simple letters in pencil just to get my spacing right, and then I'm gonna, the rest of these are gonna be block letters once I fill them in. And you can always practice if you're not comfortable doing this in pen. You can always practice them in pencil first. I would rather only do it once rather than have to draw everything twice, but that really is up to you. It's not really right or wrong to do it in pen or pencil first. Okay, ends are tricky. There, we got it. Hi, kitty. You guys hear my fat cat? I think the regulars have already seen Fat Kitty. She likes to come in. Okay, Elizabeth says she missed something. Elizabeth, let me catch you up. So here's where we're at. We've got professional goals and personal goals and professional. Are you guys still there? I was getting a phone call. Please tell me you're still there. Okay. I think everyone's still here. So let me catch you up. So I've got personal goals and professional goals. I've got things to improve on the personal side. These are not as measurable. And then I've got things to improve on the professional side. So I will finish coloring these at the end. I'm just going to do the headers real fast. And I like to keep these videos to an hour or less. But yeah. So I'm just going to try to get as much of the important work done quickly. And then at the end, I'll make a printable of this for you guys, and you can fill in whatever your goals are here. And I'll have a little explanation in the final write-up for this post in particular, because I know that this sliding scale kind of confuses people. I'll write it up in the post, and we'll have a replay of this video, so you guys will get all the details, and I'll give a little bit more explanation of how I use it. And I'll link it also to my 2017 flip through post where I kind of give you guys like the setup for my 2017 journal. I'll link it to that one as well, so you can compare and look at the pages from the 2017 journal. Okay, I hope that helps. So as we're going through this now, I'm just kind of doing the block letters. All right, so everybody should be caught up. So I got a phone call during this from my friend. So now we know who doesn't watch the video, right? She's not watching my videos. Hi, Lola. That's my dog whining at me. She's hungry. I know. It's almost time. She wants her lunch. I feed her lunch every day. She's one of those dogs that would eat like way too big of a meal if we fed her twice a day, so we just feed her 3 times a day, and then she gets little smaller meals. Keeps her healthy. I can do that because I work from home. Makes it a little easier. Okay, personal goals. And if you want, you can also go back in with a gray pen and give these a little bit of a shadow, which is kind of a fun thing to do as well. So I might do that at the end when I'm finishing coloring everything. And Amy said Fat Kitty needs some goals. Fat Kitty does need some goals, I'm telling you. That cat walks around here like she owns the place. But I guess she does, doesn't she? No, she's a good kitty. At least she's nice to people, you know. She's real friendly. She's nice and patient with my kids. So you can't really ask too much more from a cat than that. You know, as long as she's nice and friendly. Keeps my feet warm at night. She earns her keep. Amy, your dogs do the same thing. Yeah, she's sitting here howling at me. She's so tormented, you guys. Let me tell you, I don't baby that dog at all. I don't spend a small fortune on treats for her either. Okay, so we've got kind of some fun block lettering, kind of crooked block lettering, but you know, some days are better than others. And I try to do these as quickly as possible so I don't keep you guys on here for 2 hours. Okay, so now I'm just going to color the backgrounds of these to make it a little bit more obvious where we're at in the scale. You could number yours if you wanted to. You could give them a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'm going to leave the top blank just because that's where I want to put my little triangle to kind of mark like where I'm at. So, yeah. So let me start picking some colors. I know I'm going to need a yellow. I'm going to use a different yellow from what I colored those guys in with. I know I'm going to need a couple greens. Lola, you're fine. You're fine, babe. Okay? You're fine. It's not even time yet. I've got some orange, and let's get red, and we're good. Okay? So, and then I'm just going to do lines. These Staedtlers are really, really fine. So the best way to color with them is just like in my opinion, I say the best way to color with them. The best way to color with them is however you want to color with them. Let's be clear on that. But when I'm trying to fill something in and I just want it to kind of be shaded, then I'll just do lines like that. Just because it's easier and it doesn't come out so dark. Okay, there's that. Let me scooch this up so you guys can see what I'm doing. I know, Lola, you're okay. Okay, I missed something. Oh, the helix maker. The helix maker, yeah. Did I link that for you guys? I must not have. Here, I'll link it for you real fast. I'm sorry. All right, circle helix maker. Helix and circle maker is what it's called on Amazon, and then it has a number after it for some reason. But I'll link it for you real fast. I know, Lola. You're fine, babe. You're fine. Okay, there you go. I just dropped the link for you, so you should have it now. All right, so I sort of did this forest green for my fantastic color, and I might actually do some blue in with it just to kind of brighten it up. Because it sort of came out when I did it in lines, it sort of came out brown and maybe not exactly how I wanted it to come out, but that's okay. It's still gonna look good. I know, Lola, I know. I probably need like a cookie jar up here for her so that when I'm doing these videos with you guys and she gets hungry, I can just send her away with a cookie. But then she'd be in here bugging me for cookies all day. So, you know, there's that. All right, let me see if I'm all caught up here. Yeah, Elizabeth, I don't know how it makes a helix. I have no idea. There's apparently a technique to it. I think it involves I think it involves doing a circle and then you move out and you do another circle. You like end up moving down and then you somehow connect them. I've been trying to figure it out. I don't totally understand the helix function on it, but apparently it can be used for that. I'm not sure. Since I don't have to do a lot of like DNA helix or anything like that in my day-to-day, I haven't spent too much time figuring it out. But yeah, but I have pondered on that. I wonder how it would work. No, yeah, you're definitely not the only one. I'm sure that the big brains of the world have it all figured out. I just have not figured that out, that particular function out. Okay, get some yellow in there. Some orange. Okay, and there's that. What kinds of art pens do you guys use? So I've got the Staedtler fine liners, which I think are pretty common in the journaling community. I think they're kind of one of the favorites. I know a lot of people use Tombow brush pens, which I have some of those. And I use those for certain things, but I find that the brush is maybe a little bit too big for headers if I'm going to do brush lettering for the style that I like. I like something a little bit thinner, so I end up using the Feuds, the Feudnosuke. I should probably learn how you actually pronounce that if I'm going to move to Japan, right? And I like those a lot too because they're finer and you can get a nice brush on those, but they don't come in as many colors. It's a lot harder to find colored Feuds than it is with the others. Hang on, guys. I'm going to flip this upside down because I don't have a lot of space there for my hand to rest. Pentel flexible tip. Yeah, those are nice pens too, Elizabeth. I like those too. The Pentels are nice. And actually, I found another like fine-tipped pen that is a lot like the Sharpie pens or the Tombows. And I want to say that one was by... Oh, and that one was by Foray. This Foray Style Mark. I found this at Office Max. Or Office Depot. Ooh, I can't remember which one. But it has like a rubber grip on the end, and those are really nice too. That's a really comfortable pen to write with. And I always think that's the downside of these art pens is that they come in like these cheap plastic cases, and they're not as comfortable to write with. But that Foray one has a nice rubber grip on it, which is kind of nice. Okay, so that's kind of how this page is going to look. So when you come in here, you would essentially, I'll get this side. Why did I start on the right page? That's kind of a weird ism, but that's okay. Okay, so, let's see, Amy, there's a question here that yeah, I'm sorry, Rhonda, just if you scroll up in the comments, the links should be up near the top because they should be early ones. And then if you just scroll down, the ones that I've dropped as we're talking should kind of be mixed in there. Oh, hi, Gina. Glad you made it. Okay, so this is how it's going to end up working. So I'll finish this side for you guys. And what do you think? Should we color these or should we just leave them open so that you guys can color them? Let me know. Drop me a comment. And then I think I'll go back in with a gray pen and I'm going to give these just a little bit of shadowing. And then you can write your own actual goals that are measurable. You can write your goals in here. You can use all 3 if you want, or you can use fewer. I think I'm going to use fewer this year. I think I'm just going to go with 2 each. So like one of my personal goals is to learn Japanese, and I've already started that one. And then I really also want to get started get back started again learning the guitar. That was one of my goals for last year, and I didn't do very well with it. So I need to probably do that. And my professional goals, I know that I want to grow the website, and I'm doing a website redesign next year. And I think my other pro goal would be to finish a novel manuscript, which I have one that I've been working on for a couple of years, and I worked on it for NaNoWriMo last year, and then I didn't work on it this year because I really wanted to do Planvember with you guys. But I need to drag that novel out and get back to work on it because it kind of needs a wholesale rewrite, and that's a tough pill to swallow. Like, I need to just start over, and yeah, we're beyond a second draft. Like, I have to just start over and rewrite the whole thing, so that's okay. Oh my gosh! Okay, I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Megred, is that right? From Cork City in the south of Ireland. Oh, I love it. I love that you're here. Wow, Cork is on my list. Yes, that's right, Amy. Writers gotta write. Anyway, so that's kind of what we ended up with. So what did you guys think? Did you guys weigh in? Let me see. Let me go back up and see if anybody weighed in on whether you guys wanted it blank or colored on the header. I know yesterday we kind of decided that we were going to try this watercolor technique on the header, and today I could either color these in or I can leave them blank. I think let's just leave them blank for now. I'll go through and I'm going to add some shadow. Let me show you kind of how I do that. So I'm just going to use a light gray pen, and I'm going to go ahead and these are still the Staedtlers that I'm working with, and I'm just going to add a little bit of a shadow outside these. It's just a gray pen. It's nothing fancy. And I think I'll add just a little bit above it as well. I hear my little guy singing. So you basically just want to pay attention to whenever you're doing shadowing. And I'm not an expert at, oh, I heard my little guy got hurt. Come here, buddy. Did you get hurt? Are you gonna be okay? Okay, good. He's such a tough guy. Okay. I'm not an expert at this. I'm not great at shadowing, but what helps me get it to where it looks somewhat realistic is I just try to pay attention to where the light is coming from. So I'm thinking that the light on these is coming upward, kind of like this. So I'm gonna want a little bit of shadow on the left and then a little bit of shadow on the tops of the letters because the light would slant upward, if that makes sense. Okay, good. You guys are happy with blank. I'm gonna leave it blank, and I'll just do the shadow for you. And then you guys can go in and color them whatever color makes your heart sing, okay? Because I know we all have different color preferences. I like a lot of blues and greens, peachy pinks. What do you guys like? Purple. I like purple a lot. Pink. I like a lot of colors, but it also depends on the time of year, I think. Because, oops, I went a little far on my shadow there. Yeah, it definitely depends on the time of year. Because in fall, all I want is orange. Like orange everything. I go crazy for fall. Oh, Yvonne, if you're having a hard time with your computer, you can always hop out and then come back in, and it might help. Or you can always watch the replay too. I'll always have the replays up for you. Okay, we'll have just a little bit of shadowing on these letters. So that's enough to kind of get you guys started so you can kind of see what I'm doing, at least on these letters. It's nothing fancy really, it's just going through them and giving them a little bit of a shadow. That's kind of what it's going to end up looking like. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. And it just makes it a little bit more interesting. Okay, so I'm going to finish up this page and then I'll get the printable done for you guys. And then I'm trying to think of what I'm missing for printables. I think I'm missing the 2019 overflow page for you guys. and these 2 pages. I decided not to make a printable of the recurring task tracker only because I would have to Photoshop out all of my appointments that are already in there. And I think this is a really simple page to make. So I'm going to let you guys make your own on that one, if everyone's okay with that. But yeah, Amy, it's Pick Monkey without the K. So, or without the first K. So it's pick, P-I-C, monkey.com. If you're wanting to make your own little quote cards like we talked about the other day, yep, that's where I made that one. And it's just really cheap slash free-ish. I think it's free-ish. Let's go with free-ish software, and it's used for photo editing and a bunch of other things, but it's much easier to manipulate than something like Photoshop, and they have some pre-built fonts and things like that in there that you can use, which are kind of fun. So, okay, well, I'll finish this up, and I'm going to get this into the vault for you guys so you can work on your 2018 goals as well. And the next time we come back, I'm going to work on creating a big project tracker by month. So I'll have each month I can assign a big project to different months, and then that's going to help me create a plan for achieving some of these goals, because I want to make sure that I have projects that lead me towards my big goals, right? So that's kind of going to be the next step. And then after that, we'll just get into January monthly pages, and we can start picking whatever topics you guys want, because our 2018 journals will be all set up. And so we can do whatever techniques that you want to see, like if there are different art media that you want to see demonstrated, if there are different things that we want to try drawing, if we want to do different tricks for keeping our journals organized, all those things we can go through. We could even get into traveler notebooks and scrap journaling and how to add memories to your journals and things like that. So if you have a topic in mind that you think we should cover, make sure that you drop me a comment or send me an email. Yeah, I can do a flip through for you real fast before we go. Make sure you can always send me an email at megan@pageflutter.com if there are things that you'd like us to cover in our little live community here. And I'm always happy to do that. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning so you can see how this whole thing would work. In case you guys came late and you missed the flip through earlier. Okay, here we go. So this is just the cover page of the journal. It comes with a key. There, let me get more centered here for you. And it's got an index that's pre-printed over 3 pages, so you don't have to worry about making one of those. I've got my word for the year, which is gratitude. I've got my 2018 year at a glance, which is just a reference. I've got birthdays and holidays, and important dates. And I've got my long-term planning pages. So I have 4 months on each 2-page spread, January through April, May through August, September through December, my 2019 overflow area, just for all those things that are very, very long term that I need to plan for. Recurring tasks, this is by month, so it goes from January through December. My planning routine, which is just a nice reminder for me of when these planning times come up for me that I need to sit down and plan. And this is my journal checklist. So every time I need to make an important page in my journal and I'm going to be moving things around, that's when I'm most likely to lose things. So whenever I have to move from one page to another, like when I have to move from November to December and I have to move all of my planning from long-term planning into monthly planning. So during migration especially, this is going to be handy. Then this is just our little coloring page with our, a nice optimistic quote going into the new year, which I've heard a backstory on this quote that maybe is not very optimistic, but anyway, I'm going to read it as optimistic. And I really love this quote anyway. So then we've got our 2018 dashboard and then goals for 2018. So basically this ends up going from long-term planning, that the same pages that I would use in every journal that I have. These are the same pages. Yeah? Okay. Okay.
I may not get full.
Yeah, don't knock it over. No, don't knock it over. We're almost done, honey. So those are like the planning pages that I would do at the beginning of any journal, essentially. And then when it's the beginning of a year, I'm going to devote a little bit of extra time to these types of pages. Like 2018, I want to do some goal planning, and I want to plan out what I'm going to do for the year. So these are a little bit of extra pages that I wouldn't do in every single notebook, especially if it's a mid-year notebook. Like I'll probably outgrow this one in March or April, maybe. Yeah, then I would move to a new journal, and I wouldn't necessarily take all my new year planning pages with me. I would just come back to the journal and revisit those when I need to, if that makes sense. And then after this one, we'll do big projects.
Fire?
Yes. It's not fire. Oh yeah, that's fire. That candle is fire. Don't touch. So yeah, then we'll do big projects by month, and those projects are going to lead me toward my goals, and then I'll get into my January monthly pages. And then I'm right back into regular journaling, essentially. So that's how that goes. Okay, so that's it for today. Let me move you guys back here, and I can look at you and say goodbye properly. So that's it for today on the page. So I'll get that page finished, and then I'll put the pictures up on Instagram. I've been trying to get those finished pages up on Instagram for you, and I'm a little bit behind. I'm kind of trying to squeeze them in really fast before Thanksgiving. And then I'll put the printable in the vault for you, and yeah, say hi.
Hi.
And then I'll what else was I gonna say? Huh? You totally made me lose my train of thought. Okay, the post. I'll get the post up there for the replay too, and then I'll have close-ups. I always have close-up photos in the post replay for you guys. So that's pretty much it. Okay. So when I come back tomorrow, you guys will see that complete one as well. So 10:30 Central tomorrow, I'll be back here live, and then we'll start working on those big look at big projects for the year, and then we'll assign those projects to a month so that they're not just left hanging in space and then we never get them done. No, baby, get down. Get down. I don't like you on the camera. I don't like my kids on the internet. I feel really strongly about that. I'm sorry if that disappoints anybody, but you know, they're my boys. I got to keep them safe. All right. You guys are awesome, and I will see you back here tomorrow. All right. Bye.